Hey, seriously, I'm not ashamed to say that we've all been there at least once, twice, maybe a little more than that, where we had more month than money. So I decided to create this video, including 8 struggle meal ideas when payday feels so far away. Hey, let's talk about this. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Jan. Welcome to another episode on this channel, the Save Money and More with Jan channel. How you doing today? And as always, I hope everyone is doing absolutely as best as you can be. I really, really hope the best for everyone. But if you're finding yourself, maybe even right now, having a little bit more month than money available, that could be tough when you're trying to plan a meal. Now, before I get into the meal ideas, the best defense that I could create in everyone's mind is to make sure every month you have that little bit of extra something something in your pantry. That would make your life easier because you will see when I describe the meal suggestions that yeah, it makes sense. Maybe I should have had this, that, or other, but hopefully you have them and it will be helpful. Excuse me, please. Okay, let's see. Some people believe that a potato per person per meal is a very good thought. A real potato per person per meal is a good thought. So you could base whatever meal idea that you can create per person. If you have 4 people in your home or apartment, and it's a struggle between now, a period of time and to payday, then plan on working with 4 potatoes. If they're really, really big, you might cut it down to 3. Okay. If you have to stretch, you might have to give a little bit of less of a potato for each person. But utilize the potato in such a manner and create different meal ideas that you have in your mind's eye. But using that rule with the 1 potato per person is really quite a good idea. Now, sometimes you could buy the potatoes individually. And at that point, maybe depending on the price, it could be a savings. However, sometimes it might be better in a case where people have a bunch of people living there to buy, let's say, a 5 pound bag of potatoes. Okay, so it all depends on your situation. Next, fried rice. Making your own homemade fried rice is so simple. It is so easy. You do not have to be a genius to make it. I thought that I had to be. No, I did not. And it came out pretty good. So, a strong suggestion is homemade fried rice. It is filling, it is delicious. And here's a very important tip: the drier the rice, you keep it dried out in your refrigerator, the better fried rice you're going to get. Fried rice using 1 egg, for example, and some small leftover pieces of meat. Okay. You could add some diced carrots and onions that are left over from a previous meal and use up any veggies that is available at home. Now, this goes back to an important method. Okay. I do believe in zero food waste. Some people believe in a zero balanced budget. I believe in zero food waste. Okay. If you have scraps of meat, beef, chicken, pork, whatever, chop them up, put them away, freeze them in the beginning of the month. That way, when the ending part of the month, when you're struggling the most, I could take that chopped chicken out of the freezer. I could throw it in a stir fry. I could put it in my fried rice. I could add it to pasta. I can make a salad out of it. No one loses. There is zero food waste, and the nutrition keeps going on, no matter what time of the month. Okay. Here's an idea: potato salad and a couple of hard boiled eggs. Ever have potato salad slices and there's some nice hard boiled egg in it? It's really, really quite good. You could add mayo or you could add Miracle Whip type of dressing, or if you prefer like a vinaigrette, whatever you like. But the main thing is whatever you have on hand, and flavor it up if you have some seasonings. This is where seasonings come in so handy when you're making struggle meals. You're trying to wake up the flavor without buying anything because you already have the seasonings. So you could work to your heart's content on that. So a nice filling potato salad with a couple of hard boiled eggs, and it stretches the budget a lot. Next, purchasing in the beginning of the month a box of elbow macaroni salad you can make. Okay, box of elbow pasta. Boil and drain, let it cool, and then you could add your favorite anything to it. The sky's the limit. Some people add flaked tuna fish, maybe from a pouch or from a can. Some people maybe don't want fish. Some people maybe add chicken. Some people don't want any meat, and they rather just add chopped veggies and whatever flavor salad dressing they have at home. You have to use what you have. When you're making a struggle meal, you work with what you have. The idea is to not need any money, to buy anything because, well, you kind of don't really have it. And you're trying to stretch your budget as much as humanly possible until payday. All right, next. Pancakes or a breakfast for dinner? Why on earth not? What's wrong with having breakfast for dinner? To me, breakfast is one of those meals you can have any time, day or night. I have no problem. If I want a cheese omelet for lunch, nothing like a nice, filling, flavorful, protein packed cheese omelet with a piece of toast. I am good to go. I am beyond full if I have a lunch like that, for example. I'm just saying. So, omelets, eggs, pancakes, French toast, they are not just for breakfast anymore. Those days are long over. If we have a tight budget and we want breakfast for dinner, I say, why on earth not? So go for it. Okay, now if you happen to have enough, this is really important. This is where your basic stockpile comes in. All right, you may have purchased some and forgot you have it. Do you have a can of Spam? Or do you have a small can of ham? You know those cute little canned hams? It's from that company called DAK, DAC. Okay, DAC, yeah. Those cute little canned hams, they're already cooked. Spam is already literally cooked. The ham is already cooked. You could cut those things up into small pieces and make that, fry them up, and you could have that with eggs for a very protein filled meal, very filling, and it stretches over a couple of days. So you could really maximize your value with that, especially during the struggle meal time of the month. That's why, again, the way we shop for food, okay, in the beginning of the month or the beginning whenever you have the most of your money to spend on food, whenever that period is, I wouldn't know that. Only you would know that. That's the time for careful planning, not just for the first week and a half. A lot of people tend to forget about, well, what happens that last week and a half when things feel really, really extraordinarily tough? By taking that extra few minutes, okay, that extra few minutes in planning, it's okay. Make a cup of tea, have a cup of coffee, block yourself from the rest of the world, just like I have to block myself from the rest of the world super early in the morning in order for me to make uninterrupted videos. I know, it could be inconvenient, but my goal is to make an uninterrupted video. In some people's cases, their goal may be to stretch their grocery budget to the max, especially people who are living paycheck to paycheck. But always, always, always include something for your stockpile, like that can of Spam, like an extra pouch of tuna, proteins. Focus on inexpensive proteins, planning ahead for the end of the month. Look at the sales. What inexpensive proteins are available? What are totally available for you that will help stretch your paycheck to paycheck into a seamless thing, like totally seamless. All right. So if you have Spam or ham, make Spam and eggs. Yum. It is actually quite good. Honestly, it really, really is. Next, strong suggestion if your family enjoys hot dogs, usually around 4th of July or Memorial Day or Labor Day, hot dogs tend to go on the cheap because a lot of people what? They're barbecuing. So take advantage of the sales, even if you don't even own a barbecue. But you could take advantage of the sales and stock up and freeze. Hot dogs makes a protein filled meal. Hot dogs and beans makes a perfectly complete meal. You got your meat, got a little hot dog roll, doesn't have to be fancy. Heat up a can of pork and beans. Yum. I don't think I know one person in my life who wouldn't enjoy hot dogs and beans. In my life, I can't say that for everyone, but in my circle of the world, hot dogs and beans for lunch or dinner. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. So when you're struggling to make ends meet before payday, that seems like a great meal. Next, mac and cheese. Now, mac and cheese, we've all been taught, is supposed to be elbow pasta and an orange colored cheese. Wrong. To me, mac and cheese is any kind of pasta and any kind of cheese you like that you have available. Just put it together. That is your version of mac and cheese. Does it fill up your tummy? Yes. Could it be delicious? Yes. It'd be something new and exciting. This is the time to get creative. Serve your own version of mac and cheese and heat up a small can of green beans, and you got yourself a very inexpensive, nutritious, and filling meal. Okay. Also, purchase apples in the beginning of the month. They last a long time. You could always cut up an apple for some fruit, okay, for dessert instead of spending a ton of money on expensive fruits. Now, don't forget the value of ramen. Notice I didn't mention ramen noodles first. Ramen noodles are still very, very cheap. Keep a few packs at home. You could do a ton of things to it. You could take a small can of tomato sauce and add it to that, sort of like a makeshift spaghetti, okay? You could do tons of things, do stir fries with it, or whatever you want. Put it with small pieces of that leftover meat. You got yourself a meal. All right, so I know it's tough living paycheck to paycheck. We've all been there. And those couple days sometimes before the paycheck could be really, really tough when it comes to eating. But no one has to go hungry with all of these great ideas. But plan well in the beginning of the month so you will have a much better end of the month. Don't forget to click like, share, and subscribe. Super thanks are always welcome if you can do it. Thank you.